rescue mission. I've got some baby asparagus, which I have filmed in past video, that I grew from seed. And they're in this brick. I can actually still lift it up. This brick of soil. They desperately need to be planted somewhere else, need some more soil than other than that. So I'm using this polystyrene box for now, just as a little nursery for them, because it'll take a little while for these to become mature. Now what I've done is I've put holes about that far up on the side of the nursery box. Be aware that the polystyrene isn't immune to weeds, so if you've got some pretty tough grasses, some of them can actually penetrate the box and grow up in them, even if there's no holes. So just be aware of that. They're not exactly organic to use, but I'm using this just to start this off. So what I've done is I've grabbed out of my chip pile where we mulch branches and that, I've grabbed some chopped up branches, so kind of like pine bark mulch, put it in the bottom for a bit of drainage. So the water will go in the bottom and mostly sit in there because there's not a lot of holes in the bottom, but the holes in the sides will drain out. But it gives it almost like a wicking bed, keeps the moisture in, and asparagus do like the moisture. So they don't like to be over wet, but they certainly don't like to be dried out either. They do like to be mulched as well. So over that I have added about half a bag of mushroom compost, and then about a quarter bag of good quality potting mix to the top. You could just use garden soil or compost or something on the top. That's what I had. And I'm going to plant these, break this up a little bit and plant them over the top. I'm not going to be too fussy about dividing them. I'm going to divide groups of them and plant them around, and once they settle into that soil they'll be a little bit easier to divide later on, I would think anyhow. So they're very thirsty. What I was going to do is soak them. I had the water there ready to do and I forgot, so let's go back to that. So I'm going to put in this water that's just been rainwater, and I'm going to add just a little bit of plant starter. This is just like a seaweed weed tea type mix that I'm using, but so you could use anything like sea salt or something like that. Worm tea. This is what I'm doing just quickly to get this done because I've got a lot of potting to do today. And what I was going to do was grab the whole brick like that and put it in there and then divide it. So I'm going to let that sit and put those other pieces back in, because if I hydrate them and with that mixture in there, it'll help with the transplant shock. They're pretty hardy. I'm not really too worried about them, but I just need to give them a really good hydrate because they've been neglected as far as water goes. So I've decided to move the box to here in between my barrel beds. It's got a bit of protection. In the afternoon it will get sun. I've already started suppressing the weeds under here. They still may grow, but it's just another thing on top of this area as I'm trying to suppress the weeds. So it's another thing sitting on top of them, drowning them out. So I'll pop them in there, and then they can grow. They're a bit protected from the wind. There is a dripper above them there that will drip into the box when it's turned on. Yeah, I think it will be happy there, and I can always move it if it's not. So it's been about 10 minutes and they're soft, ready to go. If I was to press on that, it would quite easily pull apart. You can see there, turn to mud. Now the reason why this got so hard is because it was losing moisture. So the container I had it in, originally I had put a layer of newspaper down on it to keep the soil in. And again, I've just used what I had at the time, because even though these aren't necessarily the most perfect solution, perfect growing medium or whatever, it's still, you know, you can still grow stuff for free with what you've got. So that's what I've done, and over time that has deteriorated, turned into soil, and stopped the water from, well, it's allowed the water to go through more. So the container was losing moisture rather quickly, and it wasn't on a dripper or anything like that. I didn't have it in a greenhouse on a sprinkler system, or it was just getting the rain and watering when I thought about it. So you can probably grow these things quicker, better maybe, but doing it a different way. But I've managed to grow them. They're lots of free plants, and asparagus, once you've got them, lasts for decades. Right, we're running out of room, and I will have to obviously divide these up again, but this is giving them a bit more space now to grow on until I can get to them again. All right. Now what I will do is I will get the water from there and give it a drink. It'll look a bit sad for a day or two, and then they'll just bounce back up. So they're looking a bit drowned, but they will be fine. They'll be much happier now. And because we're getting warm days, I'm not putting them in the blaring sun, so they've got a bit of a chance to recoup.